What's up? My name's Jordan. Welcome to my channel. I am working on a 73 Hondo. If you're new here, it's an old jet boat that I picked up out in California. If you're into that kind of stuff, and if you're into cars or stuff like do-it-yourself, go ahead and like, subscribe, follow me. I'm trying to bring you content every week with the stuff I've been doing, just like this 73 Hondo with a 455 Olds back there. You can see been working hard on it. We're gonna go through some stuff. Okay, so the goal here is to paint this engine today, and I've got all the loose crap off of it, and don't mind the nasty puddle of water sitting there. I gotta get this bilge drained out. Started wiping things off with some wax and grease remover, and look at this. The front mount, I thought it was all corroded, but it turns out that just a bunch of grease. I've been wiping some wax and grease remover on her and been coming right on off, so that's pretty cool. So I think she'll clean up all right. Okay, well, turns out it's kind of the same deal back here. This guy is actually not too bad. I just gotta wipe her down, and I think I'm not gonna probably polish it any more than that. It's kind of a hard to reach area, you'll never see it, but working on getting this prepped for some paint. Got this thing wiped down and blown off, and what I'm just doing is I'm just going through and just hitting some gray primer on some of the spots. Well, of course, the second I want to do this, the wind picks up, so hopefully this doesn't just all blow away on me. All right, not too shabby. I'm gonna let that set up, and maybe we start putting things back on. Just threw a valve cover on there just to get an idea of what we're looking at, and I think it looks pretty good. Okay, so I bolted the intake manifold down, used some nice AN washers and button head bolts, and then in the corners here you use some extra thick stainless washers and stainless bolts because I hate rust. Now I'm going to try to one-handedly put this valve cover where it needs to go. Oh yeah, oh yeah. All right. See if we can't get this guy to hang out in the proper spot. That's going to look real nice. So, we got all the bolts on here. I'm just going to start in the center and tighten them. Ooh. Take them down. No. Well, I can't say there's anything wrong with that. Ooh, look at that. I just got the carburetor bolted on and put the spark arrestor on the top. This thing is looking pretty. Hey, so I've been putzing a little bit here in the garage and got my new exhaust hose cut length here. So you can see both of those are the exact same length. I used the metal chop saw to actually cut them. They did a pretty nice job of making a nice cut there. So this is new 3-inch Shields exhaust hose for marine applications, because these ones I don't know if you can see it down there, but these ones actually were starting to delaminate on the inside, and they're just old and crusty as is. And you know what, if I was gonna have the exhaust part, might as well do it right. Okay, so I just pulled this old fuel pump off. To be completely honest, for a little bit that I've ran this fuel pump was working completely fine, but they are so inexpensive to get a hold of. I think I bought a brand new Carter for $15. Well, just trying to make everything reliable so I don't get stuck in the middle of the lake. So, you know what? I just bought a new one because why not? Here we go, brand new Carter. This is much harder to do one-handed. Pull this bad boy out. Oh, they even gave me 2 gaskets. Holy cow. All right, so we've got the exhaust logs here, and we were just going through and cleaning these up just a little bit, not trying to remove any material, just trying to clean up the mating surface so that we got a nice seal when we go to put them back on the engine. It says exhaust leaks suck. So we're just gonna go ahead and clean all this up, get any carbon and crap off of there. I think that looks good enough to me. Here you can see, this is the Felpro gasket. Looks like it should seal up, no problem. This actually has, if you look, there's a fiber side and then a steel side is what they call this. And the steel side, which is the shiny side here, actually faces towards the manifold, and the fiber side here faces towards the engine block is what they tell you to do. So that's how I'm gonna do that when I put those on. We've got our exhaust hoses here cut up, and we're gonna put that on there. All right, here you can see I've got one of the exhaust plugs on. Got the new Felpro gasket in there, and I use these extra thick stainless washers and stainless fine thread nuts. And then I've got a regular stainless bolt that's gonna go in there. Coming together all right. Here we go, putting on the exhaust log. I've already got this log on, as you can see. So we're working on this one here. All right, so we got my gasket in there, as you can see. I ran a die over all these studs. There was a few that came out, so I cleaned those up on the wire wheel. So now the tricky part is to kind of lift up on this and bend that hose a little bit like it needs to. You can see that one's bent down a little bit. And then get another nut on that guy. So we're gonna do that. Okay, well, I wasn't able to film that because I needed both hands, and unfortunately I don't have a tripod yet. That's on my list of things I need. But now, you got those in place, should be able to take my 9/16 inch box end here. Of course, that's a tight fit. But we should be able to go through and start tightening these up. And once I get those kind of snug, I can get the nuts on these other guys, and the exhaust log will be in. Okay, so we're gonna take all these old plugs out and put new plugs in it. Obviously I left these in when I painted it, just because I didn't want any open holes for debris or whatever to fall down. Okay, so we've got our new NGK plugs here, and we're going through and we are gamping them to 30 thousandths because that's what they recommend. And we're going to go through and gamp all those and throw them in. All right, so I always like to go through, put a little anti-seize on there. I really like using these Loctite anti-seize sticks. They're kind of like a glue stick, and they're real slick. You can just take and, of course, this might be a little bit more tricky one-handed. Yep, you can take and just put a little dab on there, and it doesn't make nearly as much of a mess as some of the other methods, like the big old goopy can with the brush and whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead and throw those in. Well, I went to go put my new one-wire alternator on here, and turns out that the body is just slightly bigger than the Motorola alternator that was on here. Originally this had a 37 amp on it. This is a 63 amp, and the way they had this mounted is they have this bottom bolt go through the one ear on the front mount here, and it's just tight enough that doesn't pass through. So I think I'm gonna have to go in and grind just a little bit off the top here so I can get that in. Shouldn't take off too much material. I can kind of get it started, but we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, as you can probably see there, I took just a little bit off the top, and we're gonna see if this thing will fit now on there. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. As you can see down here, that's where it's gotta go. Oh yeah, that's all I needed. You got enough adjustment there, and beautiful. That should work. I got a bolt in there, brackets up, got the pointer for timing it on there. looking pretty good. Put the crank pulley on. Put new hardware on there because I broke off bolt and had to drill it out. Yep, that's why you replace the hardware. So, put new hardware in there. Just have the old belt on there to make sure that it still works correctly. Didn't think it would be a problem, but you never know. You know, maybe this pulley would be a different diameter or something. So yeah, getting there. So we're finally to a point where we can start putting all these water connectors back on. So that's what I'm currently working on. So, that should be all right. Now we'll do these guys. So we have the Mallory distributor here. This is a centrifugal advance only distributor. And I threw it in the glass cabinet and painted it this charcoal color. Put the Mallory tag back on there. And then I've installed a hot spark electronic ignition in there. This replaces the old breaker points and actually replaces the whole breaker points plate. And there's some gold paint on this, don't mind this. And the old points and condenser setup. So never have to adjust points again. Not that there's anything wrong with points, but now what I want to do is drop this distributor back in place. And I've got it actually kind of marked. I have a down here, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I put a center punch right kind of where the distributor hold down was, and then I actually scored a real fine line here with what direction the rotor was facing. So I should be able to hopefully get this pretty close to being where it needs to be. I think we got her. I can clamp this baby back down. And I think I'm gonna replace this bolt. Okay, so distributor's in. We got everything kind of lined up with where it was. Make it so that I think it'll pop off and don't have to adjust too much timing. And of course I put a stainless Allen head bolt in there because that's what I had lying around. And as you guys have probably come to know, I hate rust and I love stainless hardware. So this boat has a lot of it. Let's see if we can find the cap and rotor and plug wires. Oh, okay. There we go. Now, there's a little gasket that I think has double-sided tape. We put that on. Being a marine application, a lot of times these do that to keep any fuel vapors out of there. Okay. We are attempting to do this one-handed. Let's see how it comes out. I'll probably screw it up. Oh, maybe we're all right. Look at that. Try this again. Okay. Now I think we're good. So these literally just come up this side, comes up. There we go. Take our screwdriver. That's good. Okay, so we've referenced our old motor manual, section 9 to 76. Got those all in order. All right, got plug wires on. Looking pretty good. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, I did this off camera, but put my clamps on for my exhaust hoses, did 2 alternating directions. That way if you have a clamp fail or something like that, you got something there, because you take a lot of water real quick if you have one of those brakes. Even though there's a flapper in there, theoretically that should keep water out, but just as an extra fail safe, the last thing you want to do is sink a boat. Be no fun. All right, let's see if she does anything on starter fluid. I haven't even timed this. I literally dropped the distributor in and said that looks close. It was just on starting fluid. I don't even have the fuel tanks hooked up. So I think we are good.